Hello, what's up people? So this is going to be a quick tutorial on how you can select an object using GDevelop, because sometimes you could have issues when you try to select an object. So let's see what the problem is. Now I have this layer all set up. I have my player, I have this tile map, I have a sky background, which is awesome and great. I just want to select this player, but when I click on the player right here, what I'm selecting is different because I'm now selecting the tile map. So I could do it, there are a few ways I could fix this. I could go to the layers right here, and on the tile maps layer, I could just lock this, such that if I click on that and drag it, I can select my player, which is superb, and that's what I want to do. But what if you have hundreds of this layer and it becomes quite difficult for you? Another solution is to open up the instances in case you're not seeing that. This is the instance and this is the layers panel. In case they're closed, you can quickly just click on the instance and the layers panel. But for this instance, we can search for what we want. So let's say I select that player, but if I go ahead and try to drag that player, I'm dragging the tile map, which is not what I want. So the good solution to this is just how you arrange your layers. The layer system works from bottom to top. So basically what you have at the bottom, like now I have the background and I have the sky and the rocks and the mountains, those are the background. And then the next thing that's on top of that is the player layer, and then we have the tile map. I'm going to put the player layer above the tile map layer such that when I hover with my mouse, I can just click and drag that player. So it's basically just how you sort or organize your layers. This is going to be easy to select because now I can select the tile map, or I can just select the player, which is always going to be above my player like so. I can just get rid of this one because I don't need two of this. So I can drag the tile map, and each time I go back to the player, I can click that player and drag the player because of the way I organize this. I don't have any UI elements, but the UI elements is going to be sitting on top of this layer. That's why I always put the UI elements at the top. So it's layer stacking, like I said. It walks from the bottom to the top. Whatever you have at the bottom is going to be rendered on top of each other. If I want the sky, the cloud and the sky and the rocks to be sorted, I would just drag them above and put them above the tile map. Now it's hiding the tile map. So I'll just put that back up. Now I can actually see I have my tile map right here selected. So if you also look at, there is the layer option and there's also the Z order option. So let me just go ahead and get rid of the player and the tile map layer and just leave the background layer open so you can actually see what I'm talking about. If I go over to the instance list, let's drag our instance list here and just zoom out so we can see what we're doing. If I click on the mountain, I have the trees, and I have the sky. Now the sky works with the Z order, and the Z order works from, let's say, 0 to an infinity number. If you have an object you've stacked at the Z order 0, it's going to be at the bottom. So I have my sky at 0. The next thing that comes out after the sky, I'm just going to drag this. So you can actually see what's happening right here. And I'll just get rid of this instance list, and let me even hide the layer so I can just show you what I mean. So this is the sky, and after the sky, the next thing that comes is the mountains, right? So we can just actually see the mountains right here. If I drag it, it's going to be right in front of the sky. And the next thing that comes after the mountains are the trees. So if I drag this here, you can actually see the trees are sitting in front. And this is on the layer. If I open up my layer, this is on my background layer. So on my background layer, I have sorted each of these items and these objects. They are all in the background layer. So you can actually see the skies in the background layer, the mountains on the background layer, and the trees as well. And the mountains are in the background layer, but the Z order, it means how they're stacked up on top of each other. So if I have a piece of paper, this is going to be the first piece of paper right here, which is my sky. The next piece of paper that's going to be on top of my sky is going to be the mountains, and the third piece of paper that's going to be on my sky is going to be the trees, like so. Now if I bring back the tile map, This is going to be the fourth piece of paper that is stacked upon the layer right here. And then next I'm going to have the player that is stacked right in front of it. So you can have a layer, and then within your layer you can stack objects on top of each other. And then you can have like this tile map only has one object, the player has only one object, the UI doesn't have any objects. That's why if I turn this off we can't see anything. But for my background layer, I have these objects all stacked on top of it just to make it organized. So this is a very powerful way to organize your game. And remember, if you're finding difficulty trying to select an object, just try and make sure it's at the top or a bit separate so that you can easily select and move things around. So hopefully this is helpful, especially when you're new to GDevelop and you don't find this challenging. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next quick tip.